You know, a lot of people online, especially, some of the podcasters and some men, they rail against single moms, rail against them. I mean, boy, single moms is a thing. But yet in reality, some of these same men will shoot at a single mom. Case in point, you got a woman want to ask a question. Let's go ahead and respond to this video.
If nobody wants to date single moms, how we all got boyfriends? Somebody is lying on this app, because I will have my daughter in my arms and I will have somebody come ask me out. And I just be like, oh, well, I got a kid, right? And they're like, all right, cool. What kind of snacks you like? So somebody is lying. I need all the men that say that men don't want single moms to come forward, because y'all lying.
Yes, a lot of men will date a single mother. They will. Even men who's coming in comment sections complaining about single mothers all day, they still will go out with a single mother if she look a certain way, if she's the shape that he likes, if she's, pretty enough to him. These men will approach this single mother even if she is pushing a baby cart. That baby could be 8-9 months old, and if she is pretty enough to him, he would go ask her on a date. He would not come online and admit that, but he will do that. He don't care because he is thirsty, and that's just what he wants at the time. Yes, single mothers will have boyfriends. But if we take this conversation to the next level, in which we will, men would definitely sleep with single mothers, because definitely if you see them with a child, well, they're, having relations for sure. Right? Because you see evidence of that. But will the boyfriend marry you? That's the key right there. Will they marry you? Will they want to form a family with you? The 8-month-old you pushing around, or maybe your 2-year-old or your 5-year-old, do they want to come in and, be a, stepdad, father figure in that child life? And they want and cool with doing that genuinely because they have a relationship with you, they love you, they want to, so it's no problem with that at all. You don't have any drama going on with the dad. It's a decent situation. Will they marry you and form a family? That's really the thing that should be discussed. And I'm not saying single moms don't get married. I'm not saying that, because some of them do, but a lot of them don't. And because that is a responsibility that a man has to take up on his own. And he has to possibly, because we've heard some bad stories with this. The men get with the woman. She thinks she's cool, thinks she's a great woman, but with time, it could be her kid that really breaks them up. He may want to set certain guidelines in the house. He may want to say certain things to the child, and she don't like that. She don't want him really saying a whole lot to the child. Or don't say nothing to tell me about it. I tell them or whatever. But, some men like, hey, I'm paying bills here. I got a right to run this house. That could be one issue that causes those relationships, to break up, right? The child. Or the child get to the problems child stage, which is the teenage stage, somewhere around 12 all the way up to about 18 or so, when it kind of gets started. Y'all, listen, parents, you know what I'm talking about. If you have raised teenagers up into adulthood, it's that time period. So if that child is one of them that's just really challenging and doing things, and let's say the man is getting on that child get jazzy at the mouth. You ain't my dad. You can't tell me nothing. You my mama's boyfriend, or you my mama's husband. You ain't my father, but yet he's been taking care of your behind for years. He's been putting clothes on your back. You didn't tell him then you ain't my daddy. You didn't tell him that then. When he paid for you to go with your friends, you didn't tell him he wasn't your daddy then. When he bought you them new shoes, you wanted. When he bought you that PS5, you wanted. You didn't tell him he wasn't your daddy then. See, that's that type of thing that goes through a man's head. All that time, you didn't say none of that to me when you was taking the things that I was giving you, because I genuinely wanted to do it. But now when I'm getting on to you for what you're doing wrong, now I ain't your daddy. And then the worst part of that is when the mama backs the child up or don't get on that child and put that child in their place, that causes problems. And that's what some men fear about going deeper into relationships. A lot of times with single mothers is the aspect of the child. It's not the woman. Is a lot of times it's not even the woman. It's the child. Now, if it's a good kid, it's a good situation if it's a good kid. But if it's one of them type of kids, you know what I'm saying? Then that could cause an issue. But yeah, men will holler at you. I mean, no doubt. Just because you got a child doesn't mean you got some sort of bullseye on your head and say, hey, stay away from her. She got a kid. No, that's not even reality. Of course, dude's going to holler at you. Bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Look, she said, hey, what kind of snacks he like or whatever. But it's when they get into those relationships with time, that child is going to make or break that relationship. And it's also the response of the mom. Will the mom back up the man, especially when she see he's right? Now, I'm not saying back him up if he's wrong, but seeing he's right. You know what I'm saying? Is she going to back him up? Or no matter what her child do, he can't say nothing. That's what really determines if a man can stay with a single mom or not. But just hollering at you, dating you, having relations with you, oh yeah, that's all day long. Because like I say, you're still a woman.